What up guys, SuperMetal983 here bringing us another album review, and this time we've got some black metal to dissect for you today. I know it's been a fair while since I've done some black metal on the channel, and I thought, I've been listening to this album non-stop recently, and so why not break out the camera and do a review on it. So yeah, I'm going to be reviewing the new album from the band Panopticon entitled The Rime of Memory. This is released under Bindrune Recordings. Now, if you're not too familiar with Panopticon, they are a one-man atmospheric black metal band hailing from the US, and it is the brainchild of one Austin Lunn, who has, in my opinion, crafted some of the best and finest atmospheric black metal that there is out there today. Like, I absolutely adore Panopticon. Their entire discography, in my opinion, is absolutely flawless, and even if an album doesn't click with me straight away, few months or even a year down the line, it will end up clicking with me, and I think it is a remarkable discography behind them. Like, I remember discovering them, I think it was roughly around, 2015, if my memory serves, because I was really getting into black metal. I was listening to Agalloch and Warden's Throne in particular, so I really wanted to explore this world of atmospheric black metal and see what bands lurk out there, and obviously I discovered Panopticon through that, and it was their 2015 album entitled Autumn Eternal, which Autumn Eternal, in my opinion, is like the perfect autumn album to listen to. Like, if you want a perfect duo to listen to, it's Autumn Eternal and Autumn Aurora by Droog. Like, those two albums in the autumn season just encapsulate the picturesqueness that the autumn season brings, but in a musical format, if you ask me. And particular Autumn Eternal, like, just the whole landscape of that record is just absolutely incredible, from the songwriting to the atmosphere to the grit of the black metal parts to the atmosphere of like the folky instrumentations and stuff like that. It's all there, if you ask me. I would personally class that as one of my favourite atmospheric black metal albums of all time. It's a masterpiece, if you ask me. And obviously they've released quite a few albums since then, and I've become a massive fan of them since then. And they played Fortress Festival this year as their UK debut, and they were the headliner on the Saturday, if my memory serves, so I was only going for that day because I couldn't get the other days off, but I really wanted to see Panopticon live and the bands that were on the bill as well, but it was mainly there for Panopticon. And what an experience that performance was. I absolutely loved it. I was mind blown. It was just such an experience and an honour to see these guys debut in the UK and to behold it. It was incredible. And then I saw them, like, I think it was like 2 or 3 days later in Newcastle at Trillions, and I can say that that was an even bigger experience for me. Like, the sounds of Trillions compared to the hall that I saw them in Scarborough was just a lot more intimate, and the sound and the mix was just perfect. And I took my drummer Nathan along with us, and we were both just stood there just in awe, just listening to this experience. The folk instrumentations really sung through and really echoed in the Trillions bar, and it just was absolutely incredible, and what an experience it was. And honestly, it really made us hunger for Panopticon a lot more, and atmospheric black metal in general. I've discovered quite a few bands since then, but it's mainly been Panopticon that's been that driving force behind discovering more bands in the genre. And in particular, when I got back, I was like, I need to listen to their last album that they brought out in 2021, which was called And Again Into the Light. And that album, when I came back, it was just, that was my experience. Like, after that, like, I had it on repeat. That was my go-to-sleep album and general album that I was listening to non-stop. I absolutely fell in love with this album. I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard it, I wasn't, this is what I was on about, like, I didn't really click with it in 2021. I don't know why, maybe I just wasn't in the atmospheric black metal sort of mood, but listening to it after then, it clicked, and I started going back through the catalogue, even checking out some older stuff from, like, going back to, like, Kentucky and the Grey One, Social something. Going back to those two albums in particular, and everything in between, and Autumn Eternal, obviously. Like, it really just invigorated my love and lust for more Panopticon, and I just kept on finding new stuff that I hadn't heard from like splits and what have you. And then we get to now. And out of nowhere, to my surprise, because I didn't know this was coming, a new album drops entitled The Rime of Memory. And here we are to dissect it today. So yeah, it is 6 tracks and runs around 76 minutes in length. And I have had this album on repeat so much over the past couple of days. Like, this has become my go-to album. Like, there has been quite a few like releases recently, but nothing has touched what this has done to me. Like, listening to this album has been a fucking experience, and I expected no less, because Panopticon's music just takes you to another place, if you ask me. Like, the whole landscape of a Panopticon record is to take you on a journey and take you through different passages and experiences, like from like the calmer, more ambient sort of moments to the acoustic moments to the folky moments, then into the more black metal sort of moments, and then the like chilled back sort of like as if post-rock sort of vibes in there, or shoegazy moments in some aspects, like those atmospheric moments, and it's just a whole journey in itself. And this one, in my opinion, like listening to or immersing myself in the discography has made us realise that this and you can tell by the artwork that this is meant to be an album to listen to in the winter. And I'm not gonna lie, this album, when it first came onto my radar, I was like, holy shit, this is what I need. I put it on. The next day, I swear to God, the next day, it started snowing. Like, not very heavy, but it started snowing. And I was like, okay, that's a bit weird. And then the next night, I put it on again, and then it snowed even heavier. And I was like, this is the perfect moment. Like, this, it kind of felt in a way, like, as dumb as it sounds, spiritual in a way, like a real connecting with the music in a really cold winter. Like, I was wrapped up in bed, like I was freezing me nuts off, and this album was that soundtrack. And to me anyway, it just made it just a whole different level of experience. Like, as I said, with Autumn Eternal, listen to that in the winter, it's in the autumn, is an experience in itself. This one, I feel like, has a little bit more of a colder sort of atmosphere to it. The only way I could kind of link it in a way is like if you're listening to Immortals, All Shall Fall, for example, or any of the older stuff really, where it has that cold, grim sort of atmosphere to it that kind of verges on like, it sends a chill down you while listening to the music, but also a chilling atmosphere just makes the experience that much more like breathtaking. And Panopticon have managed to encapsulate that in this record. And this record is all about growth and aging, shall we just say, like coming to terms with the world around you. And this album, to me, is a perfect encapsulation of what the world today is, you know. But at the same time, the musicality of it, from the first track, which I'm not even going to pronounce, it's an intro sort of track, it's very sombre. From the start of that eagle sort of calling at the start, which I believe has been on a couple of Panopticon releases, you know straight away that it is a Panopticon release, and you're just like, here's the moment to immerse yourself, and you just sit there, you close your eyes, and then you're going into it. And from the sombre moments to the acoustic moments coming in, to it really picking up sort of like a cold feeling in your ears, like, as weird as that sounds, like it feels chilling to listen to. And then going into the first proper track, which is Winter's Ghost, which is a 20-minute long absolute fucking mega track. Like, this, in my opinion, Winter's Ghost has to be one of the most breathtaking songs I have heard in a long fucking time. Like, I'm not talking just in 2023. I am talking in general. Like, the last time I got chills of this sort of magnitude, or sorry, you know, this sort of might, was when I first heard In the Shadow of Our Pale Companion by Agalloch. and that was even before I'd heard Panopticon's Autumn Eternal, so this is pre-2015. I remember hearing that song and just being immersed in this sort of beautiful, sort of different style of music that I had never fucking heard. Like, Agalock's got a little bit of similarities to Panopticon for obvious reasons, but I feel like Panopticon is their own ship, and that song kind of proves it from the softer, when the acoustic guitars come in right at the very start of the song. That is one of the most incredible acoustic guitar tones I have ever heard on a record. Like, that tops it was Whitechapel's self-titled album, which had an incredible acoustic tone, if you ask me, in those little segments. But this one tops it. Like, that was so beautiful. And then the whole pace as it picks up over the next couple of minutes, like, it really is just, it sucks you in, like, to behold what is happening. Like, you're listening to the album and you want to pick up your phone and just, or look at your PC or whatever, and just immerse yourself in that artwork, because that artwork just really encapsulates that song, in my personal opinion. And when the black metal comes in, one of the things that I do like about this album in particular is some atmospheric black metal albums have this moment of where the clean stuff's like playing away and it's on that sort of level, but when the aggressive black metal stuff comes in, it's up here, and it hits you hard, and it just kind of like, in some ways it can work, but a lot of the time it can ruin the experience for me personally. Like, you know, like, I want that black metal moment to come in and feel like part of that, like it connects onto it. It's not just, there it is, deal with it sort of thing. Like, it feels like a continuation, and Panopticon and Austin knows how to fucking do that sort of stuff, and it sounds incredible. Especially on this record, I feel like there's a lot more orientated around the drumming side of things, like with the blast beats and stuff that really give it that little bitterness to it. Like blast beats obviously can be quite aggressive and over the top, but they can be used for atmosphere, and I feel like it has been mixed so well to give it that atmosphere, and it comes in to give it like the overall production of it sounds better, like snow in a way. Like, I don't know how to describe it overall, but that's the feeling that I get when I listen to that track. And when it comes out and goes into more cleaner parts and then back into the harsh stuff, it really, it has that continuation, and it doesn't feel like, say for example, on a Dream Theater song that's like 20 minutes long, where it feels that everything is just strung together, and it's just overly barren in a way, and it's like, oh wait, like, when's this song gonna end? Whereas Winter's Ghost, it doesn't feel that, because you're immersing yourself in the imagery and the soundscape and overall landscape of this kind of record, and I absolutely love that. And then Sedar Skeletons is another incredible track, but I want to move straight on to An Autumn Storm, because that one, in my opinion, is definitely, it has a bit of aggression. Well, to be honest, Sedar Skeletons as well has a bit more of an aggressive sort of feel, where it kind of puts us in mind a bit of Druk, where it's a little bit more black metal orientated. Pardon me. Where it brings like it still has atmosphere and grit to it, but it's still really atmospheric, and that's what I feel like Druk do very well. But Panopticon can also do it very fucking well. And Autumn Storm definitely just brings in that chilling sort of atmosphere towards the end. There is like a fade out on that song, which, I'm not gonna lie, caught me attention. So I was like in the moment listening to the album, and then it came to that outro sort of moment, and I was like, what the hell's that? Like, it sounds really fucking unnerving and really creepy. Just the way it's just played, and the way it's just, the atmosphere at the end, it just feels like a more grim coldness at the end there, and it's just, me hairs literally stood on end. I was like, there was just something about it. It just felt chilling to listen to. And then Enduring the Snow Drought is another incredible song on here. And I will say as well, Austin's vocals, like the harsher stuff that I hear in Atmospheric Black Metal is more high end and sometimes can break and it seems a bit torturous. Like, I'm not saying this sounds anything like it was the Blue album from or I think it was the Blue album, but Ghostbath, for example, their sort of like scream sort of vocals just don't seem to make an atmosphere to me. It just sounds just a weak as fuck, if you ask me. Like, but I will say the new Ghostbath album, or the newest one, is fantastic. But that old sort of style was just, it just rubs us the wrong way. Whereas Austin has a little bit of a different sort of character to his voice. He goes from a more sort of like mid to lower sort of range. Like, it's not like, it's more like mid to low sort of range. And it really gives a lot of character, and it really makes him stand out amongst the other black metal sort of bands out there, shall we say. And I really feel like that makes them very unique and a big standout, if you ask me. And it just really fucking works, man. And then the blue against the white is a 15-minute long absolute mega conclusion, if you ask me. And just the overall pace of it, it just feels right. Like, every bit of consistency with this album just feels and executes right. Like, everything doesn't feel overbearing. For these being quite long songs, I mean, like as I said, 20 minutes, 16 and a half, 12 and a half, and 15-minute long tracks. Like, 9 minutes is your shortest track besides the intro. Like, these are long songs to digest, but they don't feel like they are overstepping their mark or overbearing or just like looking at the watch sort of level. They are there because that is how the song is meant to sound. That's how it feels, and that's how it's executed. And I personally absolutely adored listening to this record. And for it to come at the right point, as it may be like, what's it called, honeymoon phase in a way. I don't think so. I could be wrong a few weeks down the line, but I honestly feel like this is one of the best albums I have heard this year. There has been a few albums that have made us go, alright, that's pretty good. That's going high in the top list, so I've come back to that quite a bit. But nothing has struck me, like, as in, you know, like captivated me as much as this Panopticon album has. Like, I absolutely adore it. I honestly think, as I said, Winter's Ghost is one of the best songs I have heard in atmospheric black metal in a long time, and generally one of the best songs I have heard this year. This album, to me, is one of the best records of the year, hands down. I think, and also I will say, it has surpassed and again Into the Light, but I would honestly put it locked in with Autumn Eternal. I think it is that fucking good. I honestly can't fault this album. I think the production, the instrumentations, and everything to do with this record is miraculous, and just it's a masterpiece, if you ask me. And I think they are one of the greatest bands on the planet, if you ask me. And make sure you check out this album. I can't fault it. I'm going to give this a solid 10 out of 10. I can't fault this record. I think it's one of the best records of the year. It is going to be in my top albums video, which is going to be coming very, very soon to the channel. But you'll have to keep an eye out for it. So make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because more videos will be on the way. And make sure you also check out my Riffs for Days playlist on Spotify, which is linked down below. I've updated quite regularly, you know, with new jams and old jams. It's all in there. It's quite a long playlist. Give it a follow. But yeah, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you until the next video. And remember, stay metal, and I'll see you later.